Everybody, welcome back to the next chapter of Breach of Promise, a short story of many written by Damon Runyon called On Broadway, and the musical Guys and Dolls was based around the stories that I'm reading. And if you remember yesterday, our main protagonist was hit his car into a lamppost, and the lady he's trying to pinch the love letters from, Miss Bodkin, is now looking after him because he's quite badly shaken up and hurt. And he's talking to the butler now, who's telling him all about this Jabez Tuesday, although he doesn't mention the name. "They are together many years," he says to me. "He is very poor, they meet, and she has little money, and establishes him in business. And by her management of this business and of him, she makes it a very large business indeed. I know, because I am with them almost from the start," the old guy says. "She is very smart in business, and also very kind and nice, if anybody asks you. Now," the old guy says, "I am never able to figure out why they do not get married, because there is no doubt she loves him, and he loves her. But Miss Amelia Bodkin once tells me that it is because they are too poor to start, and too busy later on to think of such things as getting married. And so they drift along the way they are until, all of a sudden, he is rich. Then," the old guy says, "I can see he is getting away from her, although she never sees it herself. And I'm not surprised when a few years ago he convinced her it is best for her to retire from active work and move out to this spot. He comes out here fairly often at first," the old guy says, "but gradually he stretches the time between his visits, and now we do not see him once in a coon's age. Well," the old guy says, "it is just such a case as often comes up in life. In fact, I personally know of some others. But Miss Amelia Bodkin, she still thinks he loves her, and that the only business keeps him away so much, so you can see she either is not as smart as she looks or as good in herself. Well, I will now bring you a little orange juice, although I do not mind saying you do not look to me like a guy who drinks orange juice as a steady proposition." Now, I am taking many a gander around the bedroom to see if I can case the box of letters Mr. Tuesday speaks of, but there is no box, such as she describes, in sight. Then in the evening, when a Miss Amelia Bodkin is in the room, and I seem to be dozing, she pulls out a drawer in the bureau, and hauls out a big inlaid box, and sits down at a table under a reading lamp, and opens this box and begins reading some old letters. And as she sits there reading those letters with me, watching her through my eyelashes, sometimes she smiles, but once I see a little tears rolling down her cheeks. All of a sudden she looks at me and catches me with my eyes wide open, and I can see her face turn red, and then she laughs and speaks to me as follows. "Oh, love letters," she says, tapping the box. "From my old sweetheart," she says. "I read some of them every night of my life. Am I not foolish and sentimental to do such a thing?" Well, I tell Miss Amelia Bodkin she is sentimental, all right, but I do not tell her just how foolish she is to be letting me in on where she has to plants these letters, although, of course, I am greatly pleased to have this information. I tell Miss Amelia Bodkin that personally I never write a love letter, and never get a love letter. And in fact, while I hear these propositions, I never see a love letter before. And this is all as true as you are a foot high. Then Miss Amelia Bodkin laughs a little and says to me as follows. "Why, you are a very unusual chap indeed, not to know what a love letter is like. Why, I think I will read you a few of the most wonderful love letters in the world. It will do no harm," she says, "because you do not know the writer, and you must lie there and think of me not only old and ugly as you see me now, but as young and maybe a little bit pretty." So, Miss Amelia Bodkin opens a letter and reads it to me, and her voice is soft and low as she reads, but she scarcely ever looks at the letter as she is reading, so I can see she knows it pretty much by heart. Furthermore, I can see that she thinks this letter is quite a masterpiece. But while I am no judge of love letters, because this is the first one I ever hear, I wish to say I consider it nothing but great nonsense. Sweetheart mine, the love letter says, I'm still thinking of you, and I see you yesterday walking in the front of the house with the sunlight turning your dark brown hair so wonderful bronze. Darling, it says, I love the color of your hair. I'm so glad you're not a blonde. I hate blondes. They're so empty-headed and mean and deceitful. Also, they're bad-tempered, the letter says. I will never trust a blonde as farther than I can throw a bull by the tail. I never seen a blonde in my life who is not as plumb washout, it says. Most of them are nothing but peroxide anyways. Business is improving, it says. Sausage is going up. I love you now and always, my baby doll. Well, there are others worse than this, and all of them speak of her as sweetheart, or baby, or darlingest one, and also as loveykins, and precious, and angel. And I do not know what else. I can judge these. Mr. Jabez Tuesday's letters all right. I can see where they are full of dynamite for a guy who's figured on taking a run out powder on a doll. In fact, I say something to this general effect, Miss Amelia Bodkin, just for something to say. Why, she says, what do you mean? Well, I say, documents such as these are known to bring large prices under certain conditions. Now, Miss Amelia Bodkin looks at me a moment as if wondering what is on my mind, and then she shakes her head as if she'd given up and laughs and speaks as follows. Well, she says, one thing is certain. My letters will never bring a price, no matter how large, under any conditions, even if anybody wants them. Why? These are my greatest treasure. These are my memories, my happiest days. Why, I will not part with these letters for $1 million. So, that changes the game a little bit, doesn't it? Until tomorrow, we'll read the next part of this funny little story, Breach of Promise. See you soon. Stay safe. God bless.